Guru Nation, welcome to another episode of Random Musings from the Clinical Trials Guru, live from Chris Hopper's car here on the 101 freeway in Los Angeles. First of all, you never see this freeway at this time, 7:30, this empty, if not for this pandemic that we're in the middle of. So, hello from those of you in the future. You know how we made it out. Hopefully, we're on the right side of history here.
Yeah, often can you do 85 miles an hour here at this time?
Yeah, so Chris just incriminated himself, so send tickets to
so is
Chris
everybody
Hopper.
else.
Any cops watching can send tickets to Chris Hopper. It's not hard to find where to send.
Hey.
All right, so we've got a question, Chris.
We got a question.
This one's actually good. We got a question from a viewer, and he wants us to give like a, because he knows, he watches a lot of the videos. He wanted to get more of like an info. So let me read you his thing before I ramble on here. Do you have any interest in doing a video for correct or best ways to find studies? I know you have done videos in the past about finding studies, but seems like besides COVID right now, studies are getting hard to find. This is not true, actually. My other sites are saying the same thing, so they need to talk to us. So is there 5 best ways to find studies?
Yeah, number 1. I can tell you number 1 right now.
Well, hold on. So there's more.
Okay.
Just thought of one suggestion. When you make a contact for studies, make sure they have all your areas of therapeutic areas. I feel like I know how to use clinicaltrials.gov, but not much success in getting a response when using the study email they provide. Okay, so now we have the full context. So what was top 5 ways to find studies?
Well, number 1, it's difficult to implement, but it is the best route. That's become the preferred vendor of that sponsor or CRO.
Right.
Yeah, that's number 1, without a doubt.
So how do you get that? How do you get to that point?
Well, that's why it's hard to implement, because you do have to have some experience with them, right? You have to have previous experience with them, and you have to fulfill all of the requirements, right? Whether it be enrollment, which for sure that's one of the requirements. You're meeting your numbers or you're exceeding your numbers. And then you also have to do a reasonably good job on data and everything else involved, right? You're timely, your responses to them. They have no issues with your site whatsoever, right? Then you typically become a preferred vendor, right? We've been a preferred vendor for, one sponsor that I can think of?
Oh, yeah.
So
that's right.
And they come to us with every single study. And they know we can't do it. They still come to us. Hey, would you like to do this study? Well, we can't do that study. And they know we can't.
Right. So that's number 1 on the top 5. And we haven't planned this, so we're just going to go like shoot from the hip here. Number 1, become a preferred site vendor for that sponsor. Number 2, just thought of it as you were talking. Talk to your scientific liaisons from every single sponsor. If you are in a physician's private practice, or if your physician has a private practice, or if your physician works in a hospital, or if one of your nurses works in a private practice or in a hospital, etc., etc. Because people are going to say, no, that's not me, that's not me, that's not me, that's not me.
So just keep going.
Keep going until you find you.
Yeah.
All right? Use your sphere of influence.
Like computer programming.
Yeah, use your sphere of influence from your clinicians. Get a hold of the sales reps. These sponsor companies love to employ sales reps. They love to send them out to the clinicians. Hey, prescribe our stuff more. Prescribe this, prescribe that. Okay, you want to get a hold of their scientific liaison. Yeah, so stay here is good.
Yeah, this guy's going too slow.
Okay, yeah. Making sure Chris doesn't get lost, because last time he took us to the site, we took a 30-minute detour. So, scientific liaison, which is like one level above the sales reps, pharmaceutical sales reps. You need to talk to them, all of them. In your area, all the drug companies have representation, all of them. You want to get a hold of these people. LinkedIn is one way to do it. So if you're in, I know where this person is, Indianapolis, you would type in on LinkedIn, Indianapolis scientific liaison. Just do that. Okay. You don't even need to do, here's the thing though, like, because there might be some biotech name, the Smorgasbord Inc. that you don't know. So you just put scientific liaison Indianapolis. Boom, search. You're gonna find. I mean, I'll do this right now, but I need my other hand to position the camera.
And I'm driving, so forget
Chris,
it.
don't do it. Chris get lost with both hands on the wheel.
Come on.
So that's number 2, right? Scientific liaison. Do it. Number 3, I know it's clinicaltrials.gov.
Is that number 3 though?
This is in no particular order. I'm just coming up with 5.
I think number 1's number 1. Just as far as easiness.
Find becoming a site vendor, preferred site.
Yeah, preferred site.
Yeah.
That's
so
number 1.
So clinicaltrials.gov, you're not doing anything wrong by getting difficult sponsors to find you. I would say add one tool on top of it called Zymewire. You have to pay for it, but you can probably find the study leads a little easier. Just a little easier. It probably takes the failure rate, like, you know, when I say on clinicaltrials.gov, for every 100 emails, you'll get like 10 replies. It probably takes that to like 15. Okay, because you're getting closer to the right people.
There's still a lot of work involved with little production oftentimes.
Right. And I'm giving the top 5 ways without having to pay money, other than Zymewire costs money, but you're not paying, like, we're not shamelessly promoting our services where we charge a monthly fee to get site studies, right? Because that's number 1, but I'm not going to do that because this is YouTube and I'm trying to give you free advice. So that's 3. 4 would be in normal times you go to conferences, okay, like DIA, Bio, Magi, Society of Clinical Research Sites. I have yet to join one of these like virtual conferences, but I hear a lot of these conferences are planning to do virtual conferences. So I don't know if there's going to be the networking, like the unofficial networking. A lot of the value for these conferences in person is the unofficial networking you get.
Sure.
So I'm kind of stuck here on number 4, way to get study. But the top 3 are so freaking good.
Okay, what's 5?
Wow, I'm not even at 4. How can I get to 5?
You said conferences.
Conferences, but that's not practical right now in a time of COVID. What do you think? Start talking while I think.
Well, I'm thinking too. I'm trying to come up with a 4 and a 5 now.
Give them a plug for our services while I think.
Well, you can use our services. We have connections to sponsors and CROs. We also do a lot of the heavy lifting as far as searching clinicaltrials.gov for you. All for $1,000 a month right now. Now that fee's going to go back up to where it was before COVID pretty soon. So
Yeah.
but if you lock in at $1,000 a month, it'll stay there so long as you're with us. So.
Okay, so I found number 4, and I'm trying to think of things you can do through LinkedIn and through internet. Number 4, scope out all the CROs, large and small. I'm talking from the size of DSCS, which is a tiny one, to IQVIA. Okay, then map out who the key employees are at these organizations. So a place like DSCS, it's very easy. It's like 2. We have contractors, but the key employees is me and Chris. At IQVIA, you're going to have key employees in every therapeutic indication. You want to map all these people out on LinkedIn. Okay, I know who's asking me this question. I know he's engaged on LinkedIn. So map these people out on LinkedIn, like all of them. This is like a lot. Maybe an intern can do this. Like, you want to have like an org chart of every CRO that you could possibly think of. Okay, so just go super niche. You can go on LinkedIn and just type in CRO, Contract Research Organization. We're passing by.
I'm going to go way off because I wanted to ask you, is this the way we came back last time from the doctor's office?
Yeah, so we're in the middle of Hollywood for those
I don't remember
from
Capitol
afar.
Records.
Yeah, Capitol Records has always been here, never left.
I don't remember last time we came by here seeing that.
Yeah, because I drove and things go so smooth when I drive that you don't even notice.
Oh, is that how that works?
Yes. So anyways, map out everybody at the CRO level. You kind of want to do this for the pharma level too and the sponsor, but I think that would be crazy because there's so many more sponsors than there are CROs, like a lot more. So I think the sponsor route, the more practical approach is to go the scientific liaison route. The CRO route, there's less CROs, but at some of these mega CROs like IQVIA, PPD, Par Excel, there's key decision makers within therapeutic areas. You know, so you want to get to know those people and network with them well. Basically build a personal brand. I'm going to throw in a plug for my Patreon channel. $5 a month. You get weekly videos on how to maximize your personal brand or your company brand on social media, specifically LinkedIn. And we also do a monthly mastermind where we meet up. We're doing one tomorrow where we meet up. All the people in the Patreon meet up. We share strategies for how we're building our brand, what we're trying to achieve, and then people give great advice. And there's a lot of research sites in there. So another shameless plug, Patreon, $5 a month. I mean, the price of this coffee for a month.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's number 4, is map out all the CROs, start building a brand and talking to them. Have you thought of a 5th?
I have thought of a 5th, but it only applies to those who have worked in the industry, right? Who've had previous trials.
That's this guy.
Right. So if you're new to research, you've never had a study, there's only a few of these that you can utilize, right? Number 1, forget about it. You can't utilize that. Number 5, right? Number 5 is mine your past contacts, right? In your emails, your past studies that you've worked on, and just reach out to them. Hey, you know, we haven't heard from you in a while. We did a pretty good job on your study. And just remind them. Right?
Very good.
Is there any studies that you're sponsored, that you're currently being awarded, right?
So I'll do a side note here. If you do this route, don't make the mistake I made of So I used to do this with my past CRAs from the site. You know, I would have their email, and I would do this, what you're saying, Chris. I would email them like years later,
right,
and say, hey, Mrs. CRA, loved working with you on this study. What are you working on now? Is there any way, by the way, I don't know if you know, but we're able to do this, this, and that. Well, you know what happens a lot? There's a lot of turnover in this industry.
There is, hugely.
A lot. So
Trump there for you.
Yeah, a little Trumpism there, but there's a lot of turnover in this industry, and you're going to get a lot of bounce back emails if you do this. Again, I'm coming back to LinkedIn. You need to connect with your monitors on LinkedIn. Do it now. Because their emails may change, and their cell phones might change, because I tried calling them and they often gave me the work number.
And you can go a step higher, right? Because you often have contacts with project managers. Contact them, right? We worked on, give them protocol number. You were the project manager at the time. You know, is there any studies we can help you work with right now?
Yeah, connect. So don't be afraid to, especially with your CRAs, because you're in the trenches with them. Don't be afraid to connect with them on LinkedIn. That's acceptable. You can even go take it a step further. Maybe connect with them on Facebook or Instagram. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, mind your contacts. You gotta mind them.
This is why social media is important. People can move companies, but their social media won't change.
Yeah.
Their email will change. Maybe even their phone numbers will change. Okay, your social networks don't change. This is why your personal brand is so important. This is why my Patreon channel is so important. This is why I even do that. I don't do it for the $5 a month. I do it to learn from you guys in the mastermind. Anything else? That's good advice.
Sure.
For this 13-minute podcast.
Yeah.
Can we go more than 5?
I can't think of any. Maybe you can.
I think that's good. Oh, yeah, sure. Let's go 6. Bonus. We always give more than we take on this show.
Oh, I got one more.
Okay, so we got 7. So let's go
this one's
6 with
one.
Chris.
This is a joke. So there's a site in Riverside who I've heard rumors that the owner will do certain things to get studies.
Okay. Nice joke.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yes, there's surprisingly a lot of that in the industry.
That's another way to get studies, though.
It is one way of networking, that's for sure. On my Patreon, we don't teach this. We teach social media.
It's a joke.
Right. I got one. We always give more than we take from you guys on this show. One thing that that I think, so number 6 to this would be network with sites that are not competing with you in your area. So, and this is something this person already is doing. Like that email list that I'm on with this person, you know, we share study leads. And we do this ourselves for our site network too. share study leads with sites that don't compete, sometimes even sites that do compete. All right, we're all in this together as sites. So your job, again, just like you mapped out the scientific liaisons on LinkedIn, and you mapped out the CROs and the key employees and different therapeutic indications on LinkedIn, you can go to LinkedIn again, and by this point, if you don't have a LinkedIn, put this video on pause or podcast on pause and go create a LinkedIn, because now you want to map out the research sites in your area and find out who the key employees are, the owners, the coordinators, the directors. Network with all of them. It's a small industry. People do want to help other people out. Reciprocity. So that's number 6. And now I think that's a fair podcast episode. Anything else? Any more jokes? Or that was funny?
Not jokes, but
that one was funny.
You thought that was funny?
Because I understand what you're talking about. A lot of people
and nobody won't. Right.
No, some will.
You think some will?
Yeah.
Some people that watch will know what I'm talking about?
Yep.
All right. Well, hopefully they're not upset about it.
Well, email Chris at brkthru.org. Well, you know, that email's like not that good anymore anyways, so we've upgraded Chris's email.
It still comes to me though. It gets forwarded.
All right, so good one. That's a good episode. Thank you everybody for watching, listening, and more importantly than you listening and watching is put some of this to action. You don't have to do all 6 of these, but pick one. I would do all 6. And I would add that there are lots of studies out there right now, not just COVID studies. There's CNS studies, there's GI studies, there's respiratory studies, oncology is always here. What else have you seen? Pediatric, if you can get pediatric, you're in business like for life, probably, right?
Yeah, without a doubt.
Those are the hot ones right now as of July 2020. So everybody stay safe, stay well. And then put these things to work, put these things to practice. Thank you for watching, listening. Thank you, Chris, for your insights and jokes. And we'll catch you all later. Bye-bye.